Chambers from Orem, Utah. Dr. Chambers was a professional consultant for several years to a nutritional supplement manufacturer, ADM Laboratories. He was vice president of marketing for Aloe Commodities of Provo, Utah, and served as vice president of product development for Health Education Corporation of Salt Lake. In this capacity, he developed more than 60 nutritional supplements which are sold worldwide. Tonight we are here to ask Dr. Chambers some questions about aloe vera and the many benefits that it possesses. It's certainly been a well-studied plant. There's over 4,000 scientific papers written on aloe. It's been around for centuries. And with that, we'll ask Dr. Chambers to tell us a little bit of brief history on aloe vera and its medicinal uses.
Peter, I think that aloe vera is probably one of the most underestimated items that's in the health industry today. Aloe vera goes back, like you say, several centuries, and it's even mentioned 4 or 5 times in the Bible that I'm aware of. If anyone were to ask me about any particular fruit or vegetable or product, ingredient, combination of things, that if a person were to take any one item as a panacea to their health issues, it would probably be aloe vera. Aloe vera is known for its antioxidant properties. It's known as an anti-inflammatory. It's been purported to be an antiviral, as an antibiotic, just about anything as people use it. It has several interesting components in it, as well as vitamins and minerals. One of the main components of aloe vera, of course, being its mucopolysaccharides, which are long-chain sugars. And that's important for a person to understand, that those long-chain sugars are like a time release to the body, and those long-chain sugars break down into shorter chains as time goes on, whether it's used topically or whether it's ingested. For many, many years, especially here in the United States, aloe vera has been known for its topical uses, and for burns, scrapes, cuts, different abrasions. People kept an aloe vera plant around, and we have some aloe vera leaves or stems right here. These are pretty good. One of the there's several different types of aloe vera, by the way, worldwide. They claim that one of the most richest forms of aloe vera is the so-called Barbadensis Miller aloe vera plant. Barbadensis Miller, and this may be it here, I haven't read the label on this, but they're supposed to be higher in their nutrient values, and there are several components of the aloe vera plant that are actually used. Aloe vera is somewhat sensitive to the sun. It has to be grown in warmer regions of the country, even though it can be grown indoors for people that want to use it for topical uses again, breaking off a stem and putting it on the skin. Those long-chain sugars, when they're applied to a burn or an abrasion, start to break down in time. As we know that term called time release, the long-chain sugars start to break down and they penetrate the skin immediately, and then over the next several hours it continues to break down just a little bit at a time into short chain sugars to help heal the wound or burn, whatever a person may have. And it wasn't until just not too many years ago that they discovered if they could juice an aloe vera plant, much like you would juice a fruit or a vegetable, and get all of the components out of it, the liquid, that it could actually be consumed as well. Now there's a little caveat in that too, because aloe vera juice needs to be filtered in some way, because there are in chemistry 2 components. One of them is called aloimidin and one's called aloin, and those 2 cathartic fibers are in the aloe plant itself, and if a person is to juice the plant without filtering it, it can cause harsh diarrhea. To the point of fact, there are aloe veras that are known for their laxative properties, and that's a good thing, but if it's used in too much of an abundance, then it's going to be a pretty harsh bout of diarrhea that's going to occur. But in any case, most aloe veras that are in the marketplace today are liquids that have already been processed in some way, the juicing, and then they've been charcoal filtered to protect the person that's using it against the laxative bouts. So the aloe vera, as it's being consumed, has a rather strong flavor, and actually that's one of the ways that we know there can be good aloe vera, because if it doesn't taste bad, it's probably not very good.
That brings us to a good point. In my research with aloe vera, I've noticed that many of the aloe veras that are on the market are probably next to worthless. By law, I guess you can add 1 drop of aloe vera into 25 gallons of water, and since it's 100% aloe vera that they put into it, then they'll call the product 100% aloe vera. Then they thicken that up with carrageenan to make it look somewhat like the aloe itself, and you end up with a product that there's more.
Yes.
There's just no.
Many of the
value.
aloe vera liquids, they call them aloe vera gels.
Mm-hmm.
And because if you cut open an aloe vera plant, it kind of has a milky, slick feel to it. For the purposes of marketing, some companies say this juice is an aloe vera gel, and all they did was add the thickener to it. And carrageenan, which is derived from kelp, and there can be other thickeners as well, they put that in there to make it look like it's a true aloe vera coming out of the plant, when you're probably getting more of the thickener than you are the components of the aloe vera. I think it's important, Peter, to understand that when you juice a plant of an aloe vera all by itself, the juice that comes out of it is 99.5% distilled water. Now, not that distilled water was necessarily added to it, but as the aloe vera plant, whether it comes from South America, whether it's in the Texas aloe fields, wherever it's grown, as the plant itself, through its roots, synthesizes and draws water into it, that water is very, very clean, pure, alkaline water. And the water that comes up through it, as we call it, distilled water, because it's kind of a distillation process in and of itself by the plant, anybody that takes a single strength aloe, as we call them, or 1X in this case, is getting an aloe vera that has been probably, again, filtered, charcoal filtered, and it's 99.5% water. And people think, well, I'm paying a lot of money for aloe vera. But the fact is that 0.5%, we can't overlook that, because that's where the solids are, as it's called in aloe vera. And the solids of aloe vera, which, as I said earlier, consist of some vitamins, some minerals, the mucopolysaccharides, and some enzymes and many other components, that 0.5% is extremely important.